third spot. It's Watson. 1, 2, 3. One-man band is at all of the way. There'll be skyrockets over red roofs tonight. One-man band, one the Godolphin Mail, completely out of gas. Darkiv's thrown it away. Math Moon and Thunderstruck join him. Math Moon wins the Dubai Kahela Classic. Math Moon has beaten Thunderstruck, Photo third. The errant Darkiv or Handassa. Then
Hello everyone and welcome back to the UAE Racing Podcast. We are back with the World Cup in mind, of course. We're here with Callum Medell and Gary Capeworth. You'd like to say hello?
Hello.
Hello.
They're trying to not talk at the same time because they're in the same room. But we'll move on. We got the Godolphin Mile. I'm very keen on the Japanese raider Kofuji take in this one. Does any of them take your eye here, Gary?
There's a couple that I like. It's obviously North America, Sharp Azteca and Heavy Metal are all going to probably try and make the pace, I would imagine. They're all horses that like to go from the front. North America hasn't really been sort of taken on in the races, which he has won here. He's been so impressive. I think he's the one to beat. Heavy Metal's had a lot of races this season. He's been so consistent, mine, but I can't really have him at the price. Sharp Azteca obviously got some decent form in America, but it's difficult to try and sort of relate to the two. How the form that North America has. I like North America. I think he'll win. I won't back him at the price if we're going to back anything. I can see why you like the Japanese raider. He'll be running on well. Ditto, possibly even Etijar at a price. There's a chance that this completely collapses up front. There's a chance he could get his way into the frame, and likewise probably Fitzgerald as well. They're drawn out wide, and those two are overpriced, but for me, North America wins.
Alright, yeah, I've got him to win as well, but Kofuji take to get into the places. Any of them you like here, Callum, as well?
I'd like to see North America win myself. I think he's been one of the stars of the carnival. He's won all 4 of his starts this year. I think it all depends on what Richie Mullen does. I think if he can go from the front and go as quick as he can for as long as he can, then I think he'll potentially break the rest of them. If it ends up being a speed test, I think Sharp Azteca might be too fast for him. So that's the really interesting angle of the race, really. Heavy Metal has been thriving this year, but this is his 11th start of the season, so it'll be some achievement for him to win. And I don't bar the front pair, and it's a really interesting race with the front pair. I don't think it's an overly strong race. It's an interesting pace angle with Bernardin and Gifted Master being drawn low. I don't know if Bernardin's got the pace for it and Gifted Master's unproven on dirt. I thought Fitzgerald's quite interesting at a price, maybe, if they do go too quick up front, but for me it's North America's to lose.
Yes. So would you say you two, that's your pick, North America?
It'd be the pick. He's not a bet, but it's the pick.
Alright. And we'll move on to the Dubai Kahela Classic. I've done quite a nice preview myself. Have you got anything to say, Mr. Capewell? Who wins this?
Again, this is interesting from a betting point of view. I've actually had to write the spotlight for the Racing Post for this race. Obviously, Math Moon's the one to beat. He's only been beaten here once. He obviously won the race last year. I still have a niggling doubt about him over the trip myself. He obviously is a year older now and a year stronger. He's been very impressive this year, winning the Major Al Rawaya last time out, and prior to that he'd won round 1 of the Al Maktoum Challenge. We've got Fokan Dalou, who won round 2 of the Al Maktoum Challenge, multiple Group 1 winner in Russia. He was impressive in round 2. Well, he's got the ideal draw to try and lead and make all the running as he did on that occasion. And Assa has certainly got the ability if he fancies it, but I'm not just sure about that. With regards to RB Byrne, I'm not sure about him staying, but obviously he's a very, very good horse as well. Thought Bombay's with the Fast was overpriced internationally. He's won here before, and he's been not too far away in all rounds of the Al Maktoum Challenge. But I've selected and backed Thunderstruck, horse number 5. He was second in the race last year. He was beaten in the neck. He was very impressive when winning in Group 3 in Doha by 5 lengths on his penultimate outing. He won there at the Emir Sword meeting last time out. He's drawn in store 5. He's got a decent draw. He'll probably just track Fokan Dalou through. and he should get the run of the race. So he's my each-way pick, and at 12 to 1, I thought he was overpriced.
Yeah, I said the same thing. I thought he was overpriced at 12 to 1, considering his second in this race last season. Callum, who are you going for in this one?
I've just seen Thunderstruck's 11 to 2 with William Hill, so
12 to 1 on
there's been a few. Yeah, 12 to 1 with Paddy and 11 to 2 with William Hill. So I think there's been a certain word going on there somewhere. So
nothing to do with me.
Sure, mate. Sure. Yeah, I think Math Moon is really solid. I think he was impressive last time. At the same time, I don't think he's unbeatable. I think he's only met defeat once on the Maidan Dirt before, but I still don't think he's unbeatable. He was probably pretty lucky to win it last year, so I'm happy to take him on at 6 to 4. Dane O'Neill's ridden the second string the last 2 years and it's won, so I'd be willing to chance Handaston. I know he's an absolute hound and he doesn't really handle the dirt, but the draw's perfect for him. He can get out the kickback, and there's without doubt he's the most talented horse in the race for me. So I'd be willing to chance him at 10 to 1. I can see the case for Thunderstruck completely. So they'd probably be the two I'd take against Math Moon, but he is pretty solid. But 6 to 4 short enough.
There's Analysing Arabians for you. We do.
I've taught him all that. He just literally reeled off what I said to him. Go on, anyway.
Learning for this new role he's playing. We'll move on to the Dubai Gold Cup. Probably one of the strongest renewals we've seen in a long while. Is Wazirabad a worthy favourite, Callum?
He's a worthy favourite, definitely. He's the clear one to beat for me. He won the race last year. Didn't have a prep run last year. I thought it was a really good prep run this year behind Beautiful Romance. I think he'll overturn that form over an extra 2 furlongs in what should be a more truly run race. I thought that was Beautiful Romance's day, really. She goes well fresh. It was 14 furlongs. She's unexposed as a stayer, but I think that's her level, and I think a couple will improve past her from the trial. And I think Sheikh Zayed Road will as well, who was third in the trial, was very keen under Richie Mullin. Martin Harley retakes the ride again. He was thriving last year. I think he won the Doncaster Cup and then he won the Long Distance Cup on Champions Day, beating Quest for More very narrowly both occasions, both of them running here. I think Sheikh Zayed Road shouldn't be bigger than Quest for More, really, who isn't proven at Maidan, whereas Sheikh Zayed Road is. He loves it here. And Quest for More, he's having his return without a run, whereas Sheikh Zayed Road is. So I think Wazirabad's the one to beat, but for me, Sheikh Zayed Road is the bet at 10 to 1. Heartbreak City's quite interesting. Big Orange beaten in the race last year narrowly. If he's in that sort of form, he's got a big chance. It's a really good race. I think there's not really any other European stayer I can think of that isn't in the race that should be. So it is a good race, but for me, Wazirabad to win and Sheikh Zayed Road is the bet at 10 to 1.
All right, yes. I think Wazirabad wins this, and Kingfisher is one I quite like. Second in the Irish Derby in 2014 and in the Ascot Gold Cup in 2015. He's off for 500 days, but Donico O'Brien said he's filled out nicely and could become a nice stayer. Who do you like in this, Mr. Capewell?
This is the best renewal of the race. Obviously it's a fairly new race to the World Cup card, but it's the best renewal by a long, long way. Obviously, the first two from last year, Wazirabad just beat Big Orange, which to my sort of pain, sort of financially anyway, at least last year. I think he'll improve for the trial run. We know how Alan Roy Dupre works, operates, and obviously I think he'll improve a good bit for the run and reverse the form with Beautiful Romance. Quest for More, Sheikh Zayed Road, obviously they're very interesting. They both stay well. They all ran against each other in all the sort of the big cup races last year, didn't they? You can see them going okay. Wall of Fire's a bit of a dark one. He's an improving horse, but this will require a huge career best for him. And strictly speaking, on the figures, he's got a bit to find. I've actually tipped up Heartbreak City. I've not backed him, but sort of 7 to 1. I think he is around about that sort of price. Might be a bit shorter at a few places. Obviously, he won the Ebor on his penultimate outing on the flat. Second in the Melbourne Cup, not beaten far. And well, there can't have been many horses that have had a prep run for the World Cup night in a hurdle race at Leopardstown like he did. But I like him. He'll like conditions, and I still think even at his age, he's actually been improving, certainly on the flat at least. Anyway, so he's trained by a very shrewd operator in Tony Martin, and I think I'd love to sit just for the celebrations in the winners' enclosure afterwards. It'd be pretty entertaining to see what they get up with, having seen what they were doing last night. Some of the owners. So Heartbreak City for me anyway. But it's a very good race.
Yeah, so I said he could be a good each way bet to nothing. It looks a cracking race. So your picks are Heartbreak City, and who's yours, Callum? Sorry.
Sheikh Zayed Road is the one I will be backing, but I think Vizirabad is rock solid.
Righto. Let's move on to the UAE Derby. Another cracking spectacle here. Many horses from across the globe. It's got a really international feel to it. I'm in the 4E camp, as he's been seen by the Horse Whisperer. You got any thoughts on this one, Callum?
Yeah.
The sea of blue.
There's a sea, yeah. Qatar Man, and a lot of people have like this horse, but he's still an absolutely ridiculous price at 25 now. I mean, he was 66 to 1 at some point in the week. We've only got pennies on, but still, 25 to 1 is it's not after time. It has to win first. It will. But you know, he's drawn in stall 1. I thought he improved last time considerably to finish second to Cosmo Charlie in the Albasta Kia. He was running in a good time. I can see him getting the rail, which is key. And he's a horse that's got so little less to prove than a lot of the other horses in the race. And for a start, Cosmo Charlie's drawn in 15 this time. I'd be shocked if he could get to the front from there, so I'd be dead against him. Thunder Snow's got a poor draw as well, and I'm very happy to take him on at short prices, given he's not really a dirt horse for me still. I think his class just got away with it in the 2,000 guineas, and this is going to be more of a test. The Japanese and the US runners are in some way interesting, but I think they're both short enough. Epicharis, Master Plan, certainly Master Plan at around 6 to 1 is short. 4, he's got the stalls issues. I don't like either of O'Brien's, and I don't like many of the other Godolphin lot, but it's just I'd chance some big prices in this, really. Cattleman in particular, but maybe Vittori Kin as well at 66s, I think is a joke of a price. B Jersey, these are some. I think it's just a race you need to just target some real big prices in, because I'd be surprised if there isn't a boil over. But Cattleman is the clear main fancy for me.
Yeah, Mr. Binsor said he wasn't worried about the dirt for Fun to Snow, more of the trip, so that's interesting to know.
Well, even that both. That's a concern. I forgot about the trip.
Yeah.
I don't think he's obvious type to stay either, so he's the worst favourite on the card for me.
You don't like any of them, do you, Callum?
No. Well, I like a Qatar Man, but...
Who are we picking?
The amount of people about Qatar Man out here this week, all the talk has been about this horse. We've had so many discussions about this. We know a few people that are also tipping him up. And there's going to be some scenes if this horse wins, let me tell you, because we managed to get pennies on at 66s, a little bit at 33s and 25s. But yeah, I mean, how he was at one stage, sort of 3 times the price of Cosmo Charlie, and yet he's much better drawn. He was only beaten a length behind him last time out, and he was sort of running on at the death as well. I think he'll grab the rail. I don't think Master Plan or Lancaster Bomb will probably want to go from the front. Midnight Chica might do. But I agree with Callum. You've got to take the front of the market on here. Master Plan, talking to a few people here about some American experts about his form, they don't think it's actually that good. So would rather put you off him. Thunder Snow, the draw is shocking. I know he won the UAE 2,000 guineas, but that was a strong renewal. It often isn't, and the draw puts me off him. Ditto Cosmo Charlie. Epicharis again, probably short enough in the market. Currently, I know he's unbeaten, but even still, I mean, I think he'll probably have to run a career best to win. I can see the angle with Vittori Kin. I actually quite like 4E as well myself. I think obviously he's got the talent, but he does have his quirks. But at 9 to 1, I don't mind taking a chance on him. And the other one at a big price is another of the Japanese raters, albeit he's got the worst draw of the lot. Adriata wasn't actually beaten that far behind Epicharis last time out and was running on as well. So the further distance will probably out him. I think he's 50 to 1 in some places. Again, there's huge discrepancies between the betting with some of these. But yeah, we've all sort of had a bet on Qatar Man, and we'll hope he does the business.
I think it's safe to say no one's going to be touching Qatar Man after that then.
Listen, get on now while you can. It's going to go off 5. This is like Desert God. It's going to go off 5 to 2.
And finish where?
Well, that doesn't matter. We beat the bookie.
Oh my god, it does matter. Okay, so they've both gone for Qatar Man, and I think 4E is a cracking bet at 9-1. We'll move on to the Alcos Sprint. Between Urtijau and Limato. Apparently Urtijau was a non-runner, but obviously not the soundest of Mr. Ron
No, funny
Woods.
funny enough, he's sat about 20 yards away from me now, actually.
Yeah.
Go give him a
Cheers
kiss
for the
me.
fake news, Ron.
He's had to do some backtracking on Twitter, I believe, quite quickly. But we were all told this last night, yeah.
Oh, I thought
And
you
the-
meant
and the
Urtijau
market-
was 20 yards away from you.
No.
Anyway, who do you like in this one, Capers?
I do. I just think Urtijau will win. I wouldn't back him at the price that he is. He's too short now at 13-8. But I mean, he was second in the race last year. He obviously won his 2 races this year. That first victory off that handicap mark, giving that much weight to it, was so impressive. And he won the maiden with Eddie out in hand last time out. I don't think people have questioned the extra distance, but I don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference to him. I just think it'd be that quick. It'd be out, it'd be away, and it'd be gone. Next in the market, Limato, obviously he's a very quick horse. He should be ideally suited by whether the race is going to be run. But for me, I mean, Henry Kane is a fantastic trainer, but he'd be renowned for having too many winners before July. Let's put it that way. I just can't have him at the. Was that you, Callum? It was a long way away.
No, it wasn't. No.
Okay. I can't have Limato at the price anyway. He's a very, very talented horse, but I can't have him at the price. Jungle Cat should probably be there or thereabouts, but I think you're only backing him from an each-way angle. The unknown really is the Hong Kong raider, Amazing Kids. I know Pat Cummings, who we've spoken to this week, has been very sort of keen on him. He looks to be improving and got a decent strike rate. He was 4th in a Group 2 when he was last seen, but the key to him is the straight course, from what I'm told. So, strictly speaking, he and Urtijau are level on the official ratings. So, while one of them should be 10-1 and one 13-8, I'm not for sure. I think Urtijau will win, but if I was going to have a bet, it would be Amazing Kids each way.
Fair enough, yeah. I think Urtijau wins this hands down, easily, doing handstands, pulling the cart along. But obviously, it's horse racing, everyone has a different opinion. Another one I quite like in here is Baccarat. I could foresee him running into the places, and he's no 25-1 shot. Do you take a strong look on this one, Callum?
Not hugely strong. I think Urtijau should win. Ideally, you'd want it over 5 furlongs just because he's just so fast. But, you know, he's proven, for me, comfortably stays 6 furlongs. He won a handicap here, I think, 2 seasons ago over 6. I think he broke the course record. I may be wrong with that, but I think he might hold the 6 furlong course record. So, but he looked better than ever last time. He was absolutely outstanding. He broke 56 seconds. First time any horse has ever done that at Maiden, and that is a remarkable performance. Limato's, I mean, some very strong form last year. Limato over 6, 7 furlongs, even 5 furlongs. He ran a Storm and Nunthorpe as well. I just don't see him being fully fit and ready. I think there's mention of him going to Hong Kong next month. I think that might be his main first target, and I'd be happy to take him on. I'm not fully convinced he's going to be at his best. So Urtijau, of the 2 favourites, I do prefer. I wouldn't say there's much juice in 13-8, but you know, he deserves to be that sort of price. I would be tempted by Amazing Kids maybe if there is a bet. And I did get sucked into a Hong Kong horse and not listening to me. Had a very similar profile last year, but he's a good horse in Hong Kong. He mixes it with the best out there, and the 5 furlong, the straight track at Sharton, he seems to really enjoy over 5. And I think 6 furlongs around here should really suit him. So he could be the danger. The Godolphin horses will be thereabouts. I think Jungle Cat, Baccarat, I don't think there's that much between them, and there's a big price discrepancy. So kind of agree with you, Alex. If there is, I can kind of see the angle of Baccarat. Yeah, for me, Urtijau, it's not really a race I want to get involved in betting wise, but I think Urtijau will win.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement with that. But the Shrewdies will say Limato will win. Anyway, we'll move swiftly on to the Dubai Golden Shaheen. There's been an up and down form for a lot of these throughout the season, and Muarab dominated last season, but he's now changed yards to the Al Rahi stable. I've gone for my catch in this because he's a 20-1 shot and he's no 20-1 shot at that. Is there anyone that takes your eye on this, Callum? Because I'm struggling.
I actually have quite a strong view on this race, to be honest. It just looks, there's so much pace on, especially with the American runners like St. Joe Bay, etc. And there's a lot of fancied horses drawn wide, and it's so hard to win from out wide here. And Mind Your Biscuit is in 14. That's probably not as much as a negative as St. Joe Bay, who likes to go forward. But Mind Your Biscuit is a hold-up horse, and I don't like backing that sort of horse around here myself. They're just going to stack up further and further out wide, trying to get to the lead. And what I can see happening is something going to slip up on the rail on the home turn, sitting off the pace in a really strongly run race. And the two horses I can see doing that, for one, is Cool Cowboy, who certainly has the speed for 6 furlongs, but he stays well as well, and I think that will suit in a race that will test stamina nicely. And Reynaldo the Wizard, the old boy who's come here fresh, I think it's a blessing in disguise he didn't run on Super Saturday, because he does go extremely well fresh. I think he'd be primed and ready to run a big race, and I can see him in the 3. There's been a real strong word for Morowitch all week. I think Chris Hayes is really, really bullish about him, and really suggested last time was no fluke. He might have got quite an easy lead in the Mahab Al Shamal, but it was still a really good effort. And if I think Cool Cowboy has got a massive chance, and he beat him on that occasion, and I can see him going close. But for me, it's very much about the home runners. I think they're the ones to strongly concentrate on. Morab aside, sorry Alex, but I don't like him. But Cool Cowboy, it's a pretty strong selection for me, and I will have to back the old boy Reynaldo, mainly on sentimental, because it'd be some effort if he won. But Cool Cowboy's a clear bet for me at 6-1.
Not a bad price at all. Muarab's changed yards to the Al Rayhi yard. What do you think of that one, Gary?
I don't think it makes a huge difference. I just think the horse doesn't look the same really this year. I think his victory in this race last year has kind of left its mark on him, to be perfectly honest. Probably mentally. Because it was a brutal old race last year. Okay, he won just about, but he wouldn't be for me. He hasn't got the same horse this year, and it was very disappointing in the Mahab Al Shamal last time out. I completely agree with Callum. I can't see Cool Cowboy out of the first 3 here. He was 6th in the race here on, I think it might have been his UAE debut back in 2015. I think he might have had one run before that, but obviously he was 3rd in the race last year. I actually sort of thought he was a better horse over 7 furlongs, and I still think he probably is better over 7. But the way the race is going to be run here, with Stalking, Walking Dude from 1, Morowitch from 2. Morowitch did some unbelievable speed figures when he won the Mahab Al Shamal here on his most recent outing. They're going to go like the clappers. Those that are drawn out wide that like to go forward, the likes of St. Joe Bay, they're going to be so wide into the bend, you would have thought. So that it puts me off that. Mind Your Biscuits, the trainer's been very bullish about. He's the best sprinter in the world. Well, from stall 14, he gets behind in his races. That's the worry. It's all right in America where it's easier to make up a bit of ground on the dirt. It doesn't seem to be like that here at this track. I can see Reynaldo running on. Whether he can quite get into the frame, I'm not just sure. But Cool Cowboy just gets the perfect trip for me. If he can have the race run to suit from stall 5, he can slot it just in behind Morowitch and Stalking, Walking Dude, provided he gets a clear run through. I can't see him out of the frame, so at 6-1, he's probably the each way better on the card.
Fair enough, yes. I like my catch myself. He goes extremely well and fresh. He beat most of these in a listed race 100 days ago, and he can work himself fit, so...
I worry whether this has been a bit of an afterthought with him. He's never the horse the easiest to keep sound. I just wonder if he is quite going to be ready for this. Yeah. Where's he been? You know, well, I know he goes well fresh, but
he's had an injury.
And that would be a huge worry for me.
Fair enough. I reckon he goes forward and he'll try and go with the clappers, go with the gravy train, and see how he does there. I think we'll move on to the Dubai Turf.
Do you know what gravy train means?
I do. Yes, I do. Thank you. Dubai Turf time. I had Zarak at 7-2 last week, or about 2 weeks ago. So he's looking nice enough at now 9-4. I'm not sure Mutakef's had the best of preparations, neither Ribchester. So Decorated Knight there looks a big price at 12-1. Are you in agreement with me, Gary, or do you take a different view?
I can see why you would maybe think Decorated Knight is overpriced. He showed a really good turn of foot when he won the Jebel Hatta here, but that had been the plan with him for quite some time, and he was he got a fair way back, but he ran on very well, and he showed a really useful turn of foot. But I think that was a pretty weak race, to be perfectly honest, and this is a lot stronger. Ribchester, he can be a bit keen in his races, and whether he'll quite get home, that would be the slight worry for me with him. But obviously he's an improving horse, but he can just be a bit buzzy in his races. That would put me off. Mitakeith, they put cheap pieces on him for the first time. Not sure why, but he was third in the Woodbine Mile when he was last seen. He didn't get the best of rides, I didn't think, in the Juddmonte when he was behind Postponed. Obviously, Eden O'Brien's got a few in the race, Cougar Mountain, Deauville and Long Island Sound, but again, they need to improve on what we've seen from them, particularly sort of Cougar Mountain is one of the bigger prices. I think Deauville's probably the pick of that trio. Vivlos, the Japanese Raider, won a Grade 1, but it was only a fillies-only race out there earlier on in this season. She was fifth when last seen, so whether she'll be good enough, I'm not just sure. Well, there was potential. This Thinking Very Special might be overpriced, but she was fifth in the Balanchine, and she'd won the Cape Verde prior to that, 50-1. Thought she might be potentially overpriced, but to be perfectly honest, the way that Zarak went through the Dubai Millennium Stakes was really impressive, considering you would have thought he would have needed the run as well. Obviously, he got some very good form in France last year, second in the French Derby, fifth in their 2,000 guineas as well, and fourth in the Moulin, third in the Prix Dollar. But the way that he went through that race here last time out visually was so impressive. I'm not going to back him at 9-4, but I think he'll just win. It's as simple as that.
Lovely. Yep, I've got him to win as well myself. Do you take the same view, Callum, or not?
Yeah, I really like Zarak. I think I will back him at 9-4, to be honest, just about. And he's fit. He's had that run, which is a really impressive performance. He's a horse that was kind of in the shadows of Almanzor last year a couple of times, and this year I think he's going to absolutely thrive. I think he's going to have a huge season. The drop back there, the lesser furlong, I don't think it's an issue. He's got lots of speed. And yeah, I think he's the clear one to beat, really, especially Alain Duroy Dupre and Christophe Soumillon. There's no better international team than those two round Maidan, and they have a remarkable record. Ribchester, I'm concerned about the trip, really am. He's a horse I think needs a drop and trip, if anything. He's a really strong traveller in his races. Look at the way he travelled in the Jersey, in the QE2, in the Jacques Marois. He does all his work on the bridle, and I'd be concerned the extra furlong, certainly first time out, will catch him out. Mitakeith, I'd be confident if he'd had a prep run in, which is meant to be intended in the Winter Derby, didn't get it. He's had a racecourse gallop, but it just has a slight niggling issue. I think cheap pieces are an interesting angle with him because, again, he's a strong travelling horse who should be ideally suited by this intermediate trip, but just not sure if he's 110%. I'd just rather go with the horses that have that run under their belt, that are race fit and ready. And Zarak's one of them. I think Decorated Knight too, who I think is easy to make a case that he's well overpriced at 12-1. Given I thought he was really impressive in the Jebel Hatton. I know it was a weak race for the grade. It without doubt was a weak race for the grade, but they crawled round and he showed a really good turn of foot to win it. And I think it's very easy to underestimate that form. And I think he's going to have to step up another 6, 7, 8 pounds to win this. But he's only had 11 career starts. He's still improving. The trainer won the race, I think, 4 or 5 years ago with Cityscape. 5 years ago. He's actually, this is his only runner since in Maidan, is Decorated Knight. So he's actually 2 from 2, Roger Charlton, at Maidan, which is some stat. And it wouldn't surprise me if he made it 3 from 3. So Zarak, I think, will win though. But Decorated Knight, I will definitely be backing.
Lovely. So Zarak wins this. I'm not sure if it's the best for all 3 of us to go for the same horse, but we've done that multiple times already.
Not with a great deal of success, though.
Unfortunately, no.
Or any success, actually, but still.
No, I don't think so, no. Anyway, Shima Classic time. Postponed the banker of the day, Callum?
No.
Why?
I didn't like his demeanour in the trial in the City of Gold. Last year he came into the race. It's not. It was way more than that. He got so worked up in the parade ring. I don't think apparently he didn't like being ponied down to the start, but he's done that before. So I didn't really understand that comment. I'm happy to take him on at 2-1, especially in a race which is not going to be strongly run. Or in all likelihood was not going to be strongly run. I'm comfortably looking elsewhere myself. Highland Reel was beating the race last year into 4th when Postpone was really at his best, and it was a bit of a disappointing run. He's had a very busy campaign since then. He's won 2 valuable Group 1s, the King George and the Breeders' Cup Turf. He was second in the Arc. He was second in the Juddmonte behind Postponed. On form, you'd think Postponed is better, but I'm not convinced Postponed is right 100% at the moment. And I think Highland Real will be tuned up and ready to go for this. And he's going to get an easy lead. I can't see why he wouldn't, especially with another O'Brien horse in there in Seventh Heaven to influence it. And I think he has to be a bet for me at around. I think he's short a little bit now. I think he was 9-2 a couple of days ago, but Ryan Moore gave him a good word the other day. He's a clear bet for me at 7-2. Jack Hobbs, I can't really work him out myself. I don't like the fact that blinkers are on. I don't really understand why he's got blinkers on. It was a really good run when last seen at Ascot after missing pretty much all of the season, after pulling up in the Jockey Club at Newmarket. I'm happy to leave him. If I did have another bet, I'd just have a small each way on prize money. Just a solid race fit horse. Double figures, I think, is a little bit insulting given on the trial. 14 to 1 is quite big. That is a big price for a horse that's still improving. A Godolphin horse in a race like this, where he's going to be handy. I'd like him. I like him too. I don't think there's that much between them on the trial run. And if Postpone can step up, then he should win. But that's a concern for me. But Highland Real and prize money, I think have to be the 2 bets at the current price. They're certainly, I have them both shorter than they are at present.
Yeah, I couldn't say anything more different. I like Seventh Heaven in this one. She won last year's Irish Oaks and Yorkshire Oaks. Excuses since, but will like the galloping track and will do a lot of damage with a fast pace from Highland Real set. Do you like her at all, Gary, or is there another you like in here?
Well, initially when I looked at this race, I thought I wanted to take Postponed on. But the more I went through the race, I can understand why Highland Real has been back, but I know he's a tough horse, but blimey, he's had some racing the last 2 years without a break, really, as well. He's had lots of, he's running the Irish Champion, the Arc last year, the Breeders' Cup Turf, then the Hong Kong Vars when he was turned over at a fairly short price, wasn't he? I appreciate he could easily get a soft lead, but he kind of got that in the race last year as well. He's tough, but I don't know. I don't really sort of want to be backing him at the price of the years. Jack Hobbs, they've got blinkers on him for the first time. He's had sort of an interrupted kind of passage the last year or so. Obviously, he pulled up in that race at Newmarket, and he was third in the Champion Stakes on his only other run last year. He's looked as though he's done a bit of growing up. I know he was always a big horse anyway, but he looks to have bulked up a bit as well when we've seen him on the track in the morning. So blinkers on for the first time is a bit of a concern, though. He could easily get a bit buzzed up in those, especially with all the hullabaloo, what's happening on the day. Seventh Heaven, yeah, you can see the angle with her again. I think it will require a huge career best, but she's getting a bit of weight away all around, isn't she? So I can see the angle with her. Prize money shouldn't be 14 to 1. That is definitely for sure. It's a shame we've not got the dead 8. You could probably back that each way. He was given a brilliant ride when he beat Postponed here. They got the tactics right, shall we say. Whether that'll happen again, I'm not just sure. And I spoke to Roger Varian yesterday, and he's very keen on. Obviously, he said Postpone's actually improved a good deal since that run here a few weeks ago. As I say, I initially wanted to take him on, but ultimately I just came back to him, to be perfectly honest, because he was unlucky in the prep race with a clear run. He would have won, but he's improved again since then. I just think he'll probably just track Highland Real and pounce late like he did when he beat him in the race last year, and he also beat him in the Juddmonte. As I say, I wanted to take him on originally, but I'm not going to back him, but I've just come back to him again. I think he's okay. Those antics before the race weren't obviously great last time out, but I don't know, he's calmed down a little bit since then, I've been told. So, as I said, I wanted to take him on, but I've just come back to him, unfortunately. So, Postponed for me.
Yeah, I'm the same, really. I can't see Highland Real actually outstaying him or Jack Hobbs coming through and doing any sort of damage. But Seventh Heaven, I think, will still place. So, Dubai World Cup. Arrogate, obviously, I don't know if he can be beaten. Do you lot think he can?
Well, obviously, it's horse racing. You would have thought that some of those horses that were on at Cheltenham last week wouldn't have got beat, but they did. But he's not on the Lasix, obviously, so that's another sort of concern. But I mean, you just look how far clear he is on the ratings, and there'll be plenty of looking round to see where he is going into that first bend. That is for sure, won't there? But I mean, he's the best horse in the race by a long, long way. We were speaking to a couple of Americans yesterday that were quite sweet on Gunrunner. I mean, he's the obvious sort of pace angle from stall 5, and if the track's riding as it did on Super Saturday, there might well be a bit of a big bias towards the front runners. But I just think he'll tee it up for Arrogate. There's a couple of other Americans in there as well. Obviously, Opportunity, who ran in the race last year, ran on well in the closing stages. Not very well drawn in stall 12. Keen Ice is another one who gets a good whip behind in his races before running on. I don't think that's going to be ideally suited to this particular track, even if they go very quick. Mubtahij just got a terrible draw. He was second in the race last year, but I mean, he came up against California Chrome last year, and you could be up against equally a better horse this time around in Arrogate. So it's a bit of a coup that they've got Arrogate here. We were giving some information about how he got here, which was quite interesting last night. But yeah, I mean, you can't back him at 4 to 11, but you just sit back, watch and enjoy, don't you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And hope, you know, myself and Callum have backed him already anyway, but before he was confirmed a runner, so hopefully he wins. Hopefully, Callum got a bigger prize than me.
After
Hopefully,
hopefully
I said nothing.
Hopefully he pays for our flights anyway, otherwise we'll be a bit gutted unless Qatar man's one.
Count the double, lads.
Yeah.
I quite like Move Up here at 66-1. I just think he's an outsider. He didn't look like he handled the kickback last time, but Mr. DeVries obviously riding out of his skin, and he stayed on nice enough, even though he didn't like the kickback, I thought. What did you think?
I had one eye on him. Nobody got that. Arrogate wins. I think that's as simple as that. I'm disappointed nobody got my Move Up joke stuff.
Nobody got your what, sorry?
My Move Up joke.
I'm still on go for mate. What was the joke? I missed it.
I didn't hear it yet.
I said I had an eye on him.
Very good. That's a music joke.
Brilliant. That was not worth the pain. Arrogate wins. I'm not going to talk much about. Gunrunner, like I said, a few of the Americans like him, but I just think he's not going to get home if Arrogate wants to go on like he does. Mubtahij has got a poor draw. Opportunity, I think, will make it 1-2 for Baffert. Really, he's in great form. He was third in the race last year. He'll be finishing as good as anything in the race. So I think it's a 1-2 for Mr. Baffert, and I think Arrogate should be streets ahead of him.
Lovely stuff. Yes. Whilst I think Move Up will place at least, and I had a little bit on him yesterday. So that is the Dubai World Cup, Saturday, tomorrow. We hope you enjoy. There was no waffling today from Mr. Capewell, and
never is.
We wish you good luck and have a good day. Thank you to Gary and Callum for coming, because I know they're very busy in Dubai.
Working hard, mate. It's been raining most of the day.
Oh, not good for Washington DC, that is it?
No.
I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. It just means they won't have to put as much water on. It's actually nice for it probably to get a bit of natural irrigation rather than all the watering that has to take place on that track.
Then we got Super Sunday at Nace, where the flat season starts. Thank God for that. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We, again, wish you good luck and choose later a day.